a very big fellow, but of course the secrets to kicking are the secrets to all aspects of football, and that is to get your timing right, and his timing was spot on with that kick. It was a 50-metre kick on the fly. Here's a break by Dean Lance. They've locked forward for Canberra. Inside the 22, it's gone on to Ivan Henjak, and he's in to score.
Sending it down into the corner where Terry Fay is based, but it's gone into touch. It's going to be a scrum, and I think Terry touched it, so it'll probably be an East loose head and an East feed. The old gatekeepers here at Seaford was telling Bill that 9,000 here before thirds or after.
Just at the end of the third grade game, I spoke to the gatekeeper, and he said they had about 9,000 people in at that stage, and they were expecting somewhere between 15 and 17,000 for this match. We've got to remember, Ray, that Eastern Suburbs aren't huge pullers.
Ferguson, good hands across through Tim Barnes. David Green's in for the corner, yes! A try to Eastern Suburbs, scored by David Green. After Barnes, the centre three-quarter, had done very well. See it again on the NEC replay. The try scored by David Green. They won the scrum. Gale gave a huge pass, a cutout pass, to Mike Eden, who got around the defence and then stood and gave it to Ferguson, who came in from the wing. Barnes took it well and got it away just as quickly. And Green simply had to sprint for the corner to pick up first points for Easts.
Well, we had 68 points scored in the reserve grade game today, and the way this is shaping, it could be similar in this match. It was good fundamental quick hands by Eastern Suburbs along the back line. David Green knew the way to the try line, headed for the corner post, and Ron Sigsworth couldn't get him in cover.
David Green, the young man I was talking about earlier, in fact, scoring a try, and good to see too. Mike Eden now, season's biggest point scorer in 83 from the touchline, hits it. Oh, it's very low. That's one of the worst kicks you'll ever see from Michael Eden. Canberra leading in the NEC big game by 6-4. There's the scrum feed by Hastings. A clean win for East, and it's out to Gale and on to Bevan. Bevan spins and finds Eden. Eden gets his pass away to Gale. He did very well, Eden. This is Tim Barnes. Terry Fay is there, but Ferguson's come inside. Backing up is Tobin. Still doing that is Scott Gale. It's now to Mark Bevan. Bevan's about 10 metres into Canberra's territory. Good ball work by Eastern Suburbs, keeping it alive. Played back now for Hastings to pass to Mackay. Mackay is taken high and low. No gain. O'Connell. Play in centre ground, just outside the Canberra quarter line. 9 is Hardy. Throwing it back. Scooped away by Hastings for Arbour. Turn to Eden. Eden! He's inside the 22. Oh, he's lost his winger, but he still scored. Oh, he beat Sigsworth easily, which prompts me to think that maybe Sigsworth is still suffering from that injury and may have to be replaced. But Eden was screaming for Ferguson. He couldn't find him anywhere. All he could see were Raiders jumpers, and Eden then decided, well, I've got to go it alone. And the winger had him perfectly positioned for the side-on tackle, and he's beaten him point blank. See it again. The Rothmans medalist for 1983, Mike Eden through a gap. Now look, he's looking for Ferguson. Where are you? Ferguson's 10 metres away, and then he beats Sigsworth on his own and scores the try.
This was a good lesson for all youngsters. Mike Eden was involved in a scrum move, 3 play the balls before. He followed play, didn't get involved in the move as it broke down, but he just kept following the play. He just kept around near the ball. Eventually the ball was popped up to him. He'd stayed in position for this. Then he found himself in a position, looked for his winger. The winger wasn't there, looked outside, beat a shrugged off a tackle by Sigsworth and was able to score.
A great try by Mike Eden. And his kicking today is absolutely atrocious. Giddo with the restart. The ball travelling on down to Tim Barnes. And Barnes is tackled just inside the 22 line. Came from the Newtown club across to East. Kevin Hastings. Gale. Picked up by Hoffman for Canberra.
A little bit of inexperience there by Scott Gale. There was nothing on, but he still tried to squeeze out a pass in an impossible situation. This gives Canberra the opportunity to apply some pressure.
McLeod. 10 metres out from the line. Backo. Hardy, Tobin and Hastings making the tackle. Hoffman back to Hardy. John Hardy, of course, for Canberra. Steve Hardy for Eastern Suburbs. Now to Henjack. O'Sullivan. Elliott out wide. The run around for O'Sullivan. He's looking in vain on the inside. Now it's been knocked down by Eastern Suburbs, and it's 6 more tackles for Canberra. Back on the 22 line. Out to Elliott. This is Terry Fay. Oh, he's gone through an ice cream defence. Oh, that was pathetic from Eastern Suburbs. And Terry Fay sliced through them. They melted Eastern Suburbs. So the Raiders are back in front at 10 points to 8. And here's the NEC replay. Elliott was first pivot. Big Terry Fay came around. He got between Steve Hardy and another. And not trying to take anything away from the Terry Fay try, but this Eastern Suburbs defence was awful.
Poor defence by Eastern Suburbs. Both players, he ran between two of them, looked at one another to make a tackle. Fay found himself running in the clear. A good footwork by Fay to stand Mike Eden up with a little in and away. Ran around to score adjacent to the posts.
Terry Fay, the try scorer. Gibbo now. Extending the Canberra lead. The Raiders by 12 points to 8 now. Goff taken by Sigsworth. Well, Sigsworth is limping very, very noticeably. I was just watching him run then with the ball. He took 3 paces and gave it to Terry Fay and tried to stay with him. There's Sigsworth, but he had Buckley's hope of staying with Terry Fay, and I don't think they'll leave Ron Sigsworth there much longer.
Well, they've got a good replacement in the reserve grade. Steve O'Callaghan had a good game in reserve grade today, and he's played a lot of first grade for the Canberra side.
Oh, Easton opened up again as Elliott takes it to the halfway. Picks up Sam Backo. Bellamy's in support. Backo showing great speed. Oh, he's bombed it. He left it too late. And it's a forward pass.
We must give credit there to John Ferguson. Ferguson did a tremendous effort, left his wing, came across like a flash in cover defence and was able to pull Backo down from behind.
Well, the crowd booing Martin Weeks, but blind Freddie could see this ball was forward from Backo, but what a shame that he didn't have that look a little bit earlier and find Craig Bellamy screaming for it.
Scott Gale would never have got to Backo, but Ferguson left his wing and did. That was a tremendous effort by the winger. Not only is he a good attacking player, he's a good defensive player as well, as that shows.
Penalty to Eastern Suburbs. To think that 30 seconds ago they were looking down the barrel of a 6-pointer, and now they've got this penalty from 10 metres out from their own line. Tap to be taken on the East's 22 by Beckett. Arbour. Oh, first tackle, and he puts it down.
And I'll tell you why he dropped that, Ray. As he was bringing the ball up, he had a look at the man in defence who was opposite him, and who do you reckon it was? It was John Hardy. Took his eye off the ball, decided that he'd do a sidestep across and finished up dropping it.
Here it is again. And so the scrum, won by the Raiders. From O'Sullivan to Henjack, a double run round with the lock forward, picked up by O'Sullivan, given back to Sigsworth. Sigsworth inside the 22 and held there by John Mackay.
Canberra haven't spent that much time in the Eastern Suburbs quarter. Most of the play's been out of that area, but when they have got there, they've looked good, and we can see them now really pressing, and if they can come up with a try before half-time, it's going to be very difficult to beat.
There's the chant going out for the Raiders as they put some pressure on just inside the Eastern Suburbs 22. McLeod is tackled. Hoffman is the dummy half. Across now for O'Sullivan to Henjack, and the cutout pass, and Dean Lance is taken heavily by both Mackay and Arbour. Backo's the dummy half. Gee, he showed some speed, Backo, didn't he, when you think about it, for a second rower. A little chip across the top there by Henjack. O'Sullivan, I should say, is still on the ground. Picked up by the man who kicked it, O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan's in for a solo try. Was simply a case of Eastern Suburbs not cleaning up, and Chris O'Sullivan persisted. Just a little chip. They were all onside the Raiders, and Mike Eden failed to clean up The ball was left. O'Sullivan couldn't believe his good fortune. Shrugged them off, and then he was able to run. It seemed like he was going to run around and put it under the uprights. He couldn't find any defence.
Well, the shape of a football, of course, makes it liable to some very awkward bounces. And here, unfortunately, Michael Eden got one. He went to fall on a loose ball. It squeezed out from underneath his stomach. O'Sullivan picked up the ball, was able to shrug off Green in defence and went across to score a try for the Raiders, who were saying that this is going to make it difficult for Eastern Suburbs, and you'd better believe it.
18 points to 8 then. Try scored by Chris O'Sullivan. There's the attempted goal for Ron Gitto. And he's again kicked the extras for Canberra. And Canberra leading by 20 points to 8. And they're running into the breeze in the first half. I haven't seen this scrum-based combination of O'Sullivan and Henjak before.
Well, it's a good combination because they're both very sharp players, and that puts pressure on opposition defence. They've got to make sure of their tackles on them. And
Sin bin, 10 minutes to sin bin for Jordan Tobin.
well, we've expounded in the past, Ray, the number of times we feel that the sin bin should be used for the professional foul, and that's exactly what Tobin did. Sigsworth came up to take a quick tap, took the quick tap. Tobin saw what was happening, wasn't back 10 metres, so decided he'd give away a penalty instead of risk the opportunity of the Canberra Raiders making a long passing rush with the ball, and Martin Weeks has seen fit to put him in the sin bin for that infringement.
Yes, well, there's nobody within close proximity anyway who's going to bag the referee for that.
Certainly no Canberra supporters.
Now, O'Sullivan, Henjak, Elliott, good ball, Bellamy! Bellamy's made a 30-yard run inside the quarter. Sigsworth, oh, he's going in to score, Sigsworth. Eastern Suburbs absolutely shattered by the Canberra attack. Sigsworth scoring a try under the uprights. And here I was telling you that he had very little feeling in that ankle. But this was simply a case of keeping the ball alive. Elliott made the extra man in the back line. Bellamy steamed onto it at precisely the right moment. Drew the fullback. Sigsworth did the rest. And that's the ground camera picking up Sigsworth as he picks up another 4-pointer.
Now from front on we'll see the real guile in this try. Look at that pass by Elliott, just tucked it out from underneath. A beautiful ball by Elliott. Then it became virtually a free run to the line, drew the full back, the ball goes to Sigsworth, and Sigsworth's able to go over under the post. Great try.
Conversion by Gitto, and the Raiders are having an absolute picnic here. 26-8 then in favour of Canberra. East with the scrum. Gale, cut out pass to Eden. The overlap has been created. It's with Barnes, but that's good defence by Canberra to shut the gate.
This last 3 or 4 minutes is going to be a critical time for both Canberra and Eastern Suburbs. If East can get a try, a converted try under their belt, well, they're going to have some hope in the second half going into this game, and the Raiders have got to make sure that it's a shutout from here on in until the half-time sounds.
Mackay. Hastings. Green. Green. In fact, that's the name of the game today. It's been all green. Everywhere you look. Raiders jumpers. Hardy to play it. Last tackle for East. Gale puts the kick in. There's nobody following.
No chase whatsoever then. Eastern Suburbs are playing as a team without confidence and without enthusiasm.
Well, the only man that chased that was the fellow that kicked at Scott Gale and Kevin Hastings to a lesser extent. But nobody wanted to chase at all.
And John McLeod's trying to push out a lot of balls which really wouldn't be successful under good defence. But
good ball from O'Sullivan. He's picked up Elliott. Turns it inside, but Backo has overrun it.
And already at this stage, I think we'd safely say that Elliott's having a whale of a game. He's been strong in defence around the rucks. His kicking's been good, and he's really worked the play well.
Penalty to Canberra. He's got Beckett for being offside. As the siren sounds, half-time. And there's Don Ferner waiting to I would think, congratulate his men on an excellent first half. Oh, what an awful bounce for East. McLeod to Sigsworth. Sigsworth looking for Walker. Walker's flying up. That's Bellamy to Walker. He's in. He's put a foot into touch. He's put a foot into touch, and a try has gone begging. Well, Bellamy seemed to have it all parcelled up, but Walker put his foot on the line as that excellent head-on shot showed. And Canberra goes to the recess, leading by 26 points to 8 over Eastern Suburbs. And the scrum is to pack near the halfway line. 5-5 the scrum, 7-3 the penalties to Canberra. Eden, Hastings, Barnes. Coming back and around, up the centre. And he's been tackled back where the scrum was actually decided. Beckett. O'Connell, short ball for Tobin. Now Beckett. Held by Elliott. Got a pass away though. That's good work by the captain. This is Hardy. Now Bevan. Barnes on the inside, but it's been taken off him by Gitto. Walker. O'Sullivan. Henjak. Elliott. Oh, good ball. Bellamy. Fay. Terry Fay. He's flying. Inside the quarter. He's beaten Eden. Oh, he's beaten Eden easily. And Fay scores for Canberra, a 55-metre try. Terry Fay on the end of this passing rush from the Raiders. Again, we found Elliott coming into the three-quarter line. He's been living out there, threw a little dummy, and then got a magic pass away, which Bellamy took and passed in one sweeping motion. And then this giant of a man was running into our camera located on the dead ball line corner, and Mike Eden was seeing that sight, and he had little or no hope in the world of stopping Terry Fay. Like a runaway train, he's in to score another Canberra try.
Well, good hands here by the Canberra Raiders. The ball went to Elliott. He was able to hit the line hard, got his hands free, popped up a pass to Bellamy. Great hands here by Bellamy. Catch and pass on the give. Now look at Terry Fay. He's carrying the ball in the correct hand. It gives his hand nearest the defender free. A little bit of an in and away. There'd be no harder man in football to tackle in a one-on-one situation than Terry Fay. Pushes off Eden, shrugged him off to go over and score a good try.
That was the kick at goal on replay by Gitto. It failed. Here's the crowd figures, 14,754 here. As O'Sullivan makes another break up the middle, looks around and finds Bellamy. Henjak's in support. He's got Sigsworth there too. Back inside for Henjak, and he's put it down. Backwards to the referee. Sigsworth. Tackle by Ferguson.
Some of these Eastern Suburbs players are so slow getting back on side.
And a penalty. A penalty to Canberra, right in front. O'Callaghan going on in jumper number 16 as we watch Ferguson do what I suppose he had to do. But Sigsworth goes on, goes off, I should say, with that ankle problem, and O'Callaghan is on for Canberra. Gitto successful again. That's his sixth goal in the match. And 32 points to 8 in favour of the Raiders.
Passes came off, put them in the right place, and players there to take them. But great team effort. I was very impressed with Henjak, the way that he keeps the ball alive. We just see that there, how he can give a pass and be around the player.
Sorensen out there. Although Canberra did well, and you know they won by that huge margin, I felt they were a bit thin out wide.
Well, East didn't stretch them enough out wide
Yeah,
right for the
that's right.
game because they didn't control the ball so well, East, and